Thanks for tuning in to more thoroughbred horse racing coverage on Proline TV. We're doing it early this week. I'm your host, Greg DePalma. Joining me, of course, once again, Jon Hardoon from the Riders and Sheets. And John, it's good to talk on a Tuesday.
Yeah, we're getting earlier and earlier. So
yeah, maybe this is a sign that we'll be ready to go for Derby week on Tuesday, because I know you're traveling on Wednesday. So the chances are it might be either Tuesday or, I don't know, maybe we don't record until Thursday.
Or Thursday.
But I hope it's Tuesday. I'm sure everybody else does. That will give us a head start. Matter of fact, I know the sheets will be in early, earlier than normal, because, again, we know who the horses are. So that's great. And usually the odds come out once we see the post position draw. So I would think that we have a pretty good chance of recording on Tuesday. And by the way, maybe we'll do that show live. We'll have to think about that. That might be a pretty good idea. So should be a lot of fun, though. A lot of big races coming up. But the next 2 weeks, unfortunately, that's considered like the dead period. So there's not a lot of big races going on over the next 2 weeks. Today, we're going to handicap 2 races from Keeneland. They're both graded stakes races. The grade 2 Elkhorn and the grade 3 Benally. So that's coming up here in just a minute. Let's now, first of all, take a look at what our resident viewers had to say over the past week. Let's see. We'll start with John Lindgren. We'll start with a good one. John Lindgren said, good information. So thanks, John. We appreciate that. And we had a nice little discussion last week, John, about the paired numbers. And so this is why I love doing this with you. We get an opportunity to, first of all, educate me, which is the most important thing about this show. And then, of course, all our viewers, that's kind of cool too. But our viewers definitely got involved when we started talking about paired numbers. Curtis Clark wanted to know, I have a question regarding the sheets for John. There was a horse named It's My Life who paired 8s from 1 year to the next. I was taught this is a good play. What are your thoughts?
Well, what he's talking about is It's My Life must have run an 8 as a 2-year-old and came out and ran an 8 as a 3-year-old. So obviously that's a strong sign. And but that's not.
That's
really
different. Yeah.
That's not called a pair, but whatever.
Yeah, because the next one is more like in the lines of what we were talking about. That comes from Douglas Wilson. But by the way, did you answer his question?
What was his question?
Well, he just said, "What are your thoughts
about regarding?" True, but I did answer. I told you that's not a real pair.
So really, don't worry about it. Yeah. So just throw that out.
He's talking about something else. He's talking about, it's a good line when a horse comes out and runs his top, equals his top or breaks through his top in his first race in his next year. But we're getting into the weeds here. People are going to get too confused.
Okay.
I'd rather avoid it.
Douglas Wilson. So if a horse has 2 recent paired races, they should improve off those races the next time they run?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything they should look out for, like where they have a more, like the odds are greatly more in their favor or a little less?
Well, again, this also depends. Was it at the same track? Was it a different track? Is it fillies? Fillies tend to move forward more off of pairs than colts do. But again, it just depends. It's it's too general a question.
Okay. Victor Freed, you guys are having a lot of success. I like the sheets information. Thank you. That's from Victor Freed. You're welcome, Victor. Roche and Kurakosi. John knows his horse's very expensive handicapper. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either, but
I guess maybe you're very expensive because you're very good.
Free is very expensive because we don't charge anyone and we do this every week. So that's free. So I don't see where the expense.
It's not expensive on this show. That's for sure. Yeah. So, I mean, you could donate. Don't forget to subscribe. That's a good tip off to remind everybody to subscribe to the channel. And if you do want to donate to the channel, to the show, anything specific you want to let us know of why you're donating, you could do that as well. You can comment about why you're donating. Just check out that thanks icon on the bottom of the screen. It's got the $ sign in it. You could donate anything as little as 99 cents to our program, to our channel on up. So any of that stuff is really appreciated, including the subscribing of the channel. Okay. Kirby Chamberlain, thank you so much for that clarification about CC. You're the best, of course. Now, we really didn't understand what the CC is.
I have no idea. I don't know what.
So let us know, Kirby. If anybody else knows, there's got to be a reason.
CC I know is credit card. What else is CC?
Yeah, I don't think that we were talking about a credit card.
I don't think so either. But what else would CC stand? Christopher Clement? I don't know. I have no idea.
It probably went right over our heads and we don't realize it. Vale Place. How come no one recognizes the unknown final gambit? I did respond to Vale myself, and I basically just said, well, we have to have more success from the Jeff Ruby Stakes being a synthetic winner over a year or two. It's just, that's not enough. We need to see 5-10 years of success from those winners in the Kentucky Derby for us to go, oh, wait a second, we got to start taking these horses seriously.
You have to keep something in mind. When a trainer like Brad Cox wins with a horse that now gets in, he may keep that horse in the Derby just to keep another horse out, even though he doesn't think he has enough. Here, for example, Baeza is now 2 slots away from getting in. If Baeza gets in, he's a serious threat off of his sheets. I think he ran a 9 and an 8 or whatever. So if Cox could keep him out by having another horse in, even though he knows that horse doesn't have a shot, he's playing strategy. He's being smart. He's keeping another guy out by keeping his horse in, even though he knows his horse doesn't have a shot. But by letting another horse in that could beat him, he's going to keep that horse in. So, again, a lot of trainer intent comes into this stuff, guys. Pay attention.
There are the points, so you can see them all. Everybody should know by now who's in as of today. A lot can change, of course, in the next couple of weeks. This is what we were just talking about. Here you go. There's Final Gambit. He's 8th right now. He's in 8th place. Admire Daytona is in 9th place. Okay. So that's the Japanese horse. There's Owen Almighty. It says bypassing.
Another one dropped out today. River Thames is out. He's pointing towards the Preakness. They announced today that he will not be running in the Derby.
Okay. So Owen Almighty and River Thames are
they're
bypassing.
both coming out.
Okay. And so is Flood Zone.
Who said Flood Zone's coming out?
Well, it says it right here. It says bypassing.
All right. So then he's passing. There you go. That's another.
Yeah, that's a Brad Cox one. So he's not going to be in.
So wasn't that who that guy was just talking about that sent you that comment or whatever?
That was Final Gambit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then a Baffert horse also, Getaway Car, is bypassing. He would have been 19th in points.
So all these horses are going to step up.
That's right. So there you go.
So you see Baez.
He's going to get in.
Well, it's close.
Because right now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. It says Magnitude's injured. That's 5. Owen Almighty, 6. So that's 6 horses are not. So that means these.
But are you counting the European 2 free slots they gave? And so I don't know.
Well, the Japanese one is 1.
Yeah.
Heart of Honor's bypassing one of the other European imports.
Okay.
So
let's see what happens.
Yeah. So
a lot is going to happen.
Yeah. So it looks like, by the way, look at all these other horses bypassing that have a chance. So yeah. So who knows? We'll see. But it looks like Neoquos, Rendered Judgment, and Baeza look like they might be able to sneak their way in. Let's take a look before we get to the races. Here are the CBS Sports line Kentucky Derby odds. As we talked about, journalism was probably going to go off as the favorite. Now, this I don't believe in, or I don't think is a really good. I'm not saying the odds are screwed up, but I would definitely take advantage of the fact because I don't think journalism should be like more than double the odds of all these other top contenders, including Sovereignty.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, Tappan Street, Sovereignty, please.
Yeah, these are all. I mean,
Tappan Street. By the way, Burnham Square paired up 8s,
15 to 1.
Yeah.
So there's some good value here. And
A post position is going to have a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
We're being premature by even discussing it, but since people have interest in it, I guess we're going to discuss it before. But till they draw and until they get to that first Saturday in May, a lot can happen and will happen.
Yeah, you might just look, if you're going to take a chance, take a chance. And that's the whole idea. Because like you said, John, if you're going to put money on these horses now before you see the draw, more than anything, you might be pretty much done with before the race even begins at that point. But hey, if you get lucky, then maybe if you take one of these horses now and you're getting a good number and you get a decent draw, then you might be better off, because you can get this is one of those rare situations where we get an opportunity to get a fixed odds. So, but again, keep in mind, once the post position draws up, you're still going to be able to get new updated fixed odds. So yeah, but we'll have a much better idea of the positioning, and we'll talk more about that next week. And of course, when we preview the Derby in a couple of weeks, we are going to also have a special guest on our show next week, Jim Feist, who is one of the partners here on the channel, who's owned thoroughbred horses before. We have a nice little conversation next week. Next week's cards, by the way, are a lot weaker even than this week's. So as slow as the week of the year you're going to get in thoroughbred racing next week, but we'll be here to handicap 2 races. And then don't forget, this gentleman, Jon Hardoon, is going to be on Proline TV's signature show next Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern. So if you're a fan of Jon's here on the show, you just want to see what he talks about, there's going to be obviously Derby talk. All they're going to want to know about the Kentucky Derby on that show. So if you want more Derby talk from Jon, check out the Playbook Against the Spread podcast next Wednesday. Okay, so let's get right into it and talk about these 2 races from Keeneland, Jon. And we have races 9 and 10. Race 9 from Keeneland is a turf race, 1.5 miles. Not my favorites. I don't think I've ever hit a 1.5 mile race in my life.
It's no one's favorite because, unfortunately, while numbers are the most important thing, when it comes to marathon distances, you can either go the distance or you can't.
So this in this race, which will go off at approximately 5:15 on Saturday, you got the morning line favorite is the 6 limited liability, an 8-5 shot. It was coming off a 10 at Gulfstream Park in January, and not too far behind is Grand Sonata, the 2 horse at 4-1, who was coming off a 9 in March and a 6 in January. So let's get started. Let's go through the field here. We'll go with the 1, Rebel Red. This is a Sherry DeVoe horse with Jorge Ortiz. It's a nice combo there. The horse has won 3 of the last 6 races. Question. So the horse ran with Lasix in a stakes race. Is that because Fairgrounds allows that?
Correct.
Are they the only track that allows that?
Woodbine allows it, and Fairgrounds allows it.
That's it. Okay, so if we don't do Woodbine, so the only but I'll put that in there anyway in case we do. You never know.
Except for the point races, no one's allowed any Lasix in the Derby point races.
Derby point. If they had a Derby point race at their track, okay.
Right.
Other than that, it's open business. Okay. So anyway, this horse, like I said, won 3 out of 6. If you take a look at the numbers, John, the sheet numbers, the last 3, you got 2 9s that ended last year and then started with a 12 this year.
He's okay, but I've been kind of negative, to be honest with you, on the Sherry DeVoe horses because she had such a strong meet at Fairgrounds. Generally speaking, when you come off of a huge meet like she had, she was running like at 30%. So her horses were obviously squeezed for that meet. I think she has 1 or 2 wins at Keeneland, but it's like 2 for 15, something like that. So as well as her horses ran at Fairgrounds and in other tracks, I don't know if they're going to run so well here. But listen, at 8-1, it's a no-brainer. You probably have to use the horse. The horse is 1 for 2 at Keeneland, so that's certainly a plus.
Okay. The 2 is Grand Sonata. As I mentioned, Grand Sonata is definitely one of the favorites, and we can see why. The horse has made over $2 million over his career. You got a Pletcher trained horse. As I mentioned, John ran a 6 a couple of starts ago, 9 last time out as a grade 2 win. So what about Grand Sonata? Looks like this horse is going to be tough to beat.
Well, this is my top selection. First of all, he's won at the distance. He has one race at Keeneland where he finished second. What's interesting is Junior Alvarado is riding, and Ortiz is, I guess, opted for another horse. Junior Alvarado, everyone knows, got hurt. He was out for about 3 weeks. He restarted riding last weekend, and he will be on this horse. And this is my top selection in the race.
Yeah, one of the other things I noticed about this horse, especially when you're dealing with these long distance races, is this is a horse that's been down that road before. You know, he's got 4 of those races. He's won 1 out of 4, and having just even experience in the long races, you would think would matter. But yeah, this horse has been in a lot of big races, even though he's only won once.
He's 4-1. He's not the favorite, you know. So
sure.
I mean, he's much better than the 6s, who's 8-5.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, that I would be taking the 2 over the 6 as well. So let's talk about a long shot here first. It looks like he has no chance, and that's the 3 Dean Martini.
I don't like this horse, no.
Yeah, no chance. Okay. Next up is the 4 Verstappen. Another long shot, not as much at 15-1. And now some of his best sheet numbers have actually been at 1.5 miles. So that's encouraging. You know, he ran a 10 a couple of years ago, ran a 9 last year, 10 again in January, because this is as good as the horse's run. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, the good thing is you got Brendan Wall's trained horse. He's having a really good meet already, and he's 15-1.
I agree. I'm using him underneath.
Yeah, you got to look when you're going after Grand Sonata, who probably won't be 4-1. That'll be a lower number, I believe. We got to get some long shots in here. So, okay. Next up is the 5, another long shot that's intriguing, Utah Beach. Utah Beach in 2 races at Keeneland ran 10s. Both of them were at 1.5 miles. So that's encouraging. Also, if you take a look at it overall, he out of all the other horses in this field, he has the most experience in the distance races. He's got a couple of wins at 1.5 miles. He's ran in a 2-mile race. So this is another horse that I want to throw into my exactas.
Well, he's certainly live, and he's 20-1, you know, but how many horses can you use? It really depends on price, and it's somewhat of a game time decision, but I would certainly consider using this horse.
Okay, the 6 is one of those, again, you got one of the favorites, Limited Liability, who's never won a race at this distance before. His last 3 races are okay, 10, 8, and 10. But if you're going to pick one of the favorites, the 6 or the 2 just looks like a better bet.
Yeah, I agree. Not only what this horse does have going for him is that he is 2 for 3 at Keeneland, so obviously he likes the turf course. But he's going to be the favorite, and off of numbers, he's not deserving. You know, he doesn't deserve to be the favorite. He has that 1-8, 2 starts back at Aqueduct last year, but he's coming off of a layoff. I think he's vulnerable. Okay.
Next up is the 7 Anglophile, a 15-1 shot, coming off a 13 and a 12 this year. The only good thing about this horse that I could see, even though he's never been in the money in the 3 distance races, the sheet numbers are 8, 10, and 12, which for this horse is pretty much as good as it gets. But, other than that, besides Rosario Lynch, I don't really see a whole lot more to like.
Well, Utah Beach and Verstappen are both just as long or longer, and I think they have much better chances personally.
I agree. Number 8 is Old Crazy Bone. And Old Crazy Bone is another one of these big long shots. But the big difference here, as we can see, is even though he's 9 out of 10 on turf, which is nice, he's won 2 out of 3, 5 out of 9 with 2 runner-ups and a third. So there's a lot to like there. But you got the situation where he'll be bouncing off of Lasix for the first time, maybe even ever. I mean, I could just see, of course, what I see here on the form. He's never been off of Lasix as far as the form is concerned, and that's got to be an issue. But he is 30-1.
Yeah, but he should be 30-1. I don't like him.
Okay, next up is the 9, Missed the Cut. Now we're getting down to 6-1 with Velasquez and once again Devereaux, who has 3. This horse has 3 grade 3 wins. What I like about this horse is in the 3 mile-and-a-half races. He's improved each time out as far as the sheet numbers, 13, 12 to 9. He also has a 9 in his only mile-and-a-half race at Keeneland. And getting 6 to 1, which, to tell you the truth, I'd rather take the 9 than the limited liability.
Okay. I mean, I don't like this horse because he's only had 3 races last year, and he took off all that time of about 11 months. He came back, he ran the 12. He did have trouble in that race. He's not impossible. The problem is he's just not long enough. 6 to 1, I think you want to look for longer. There are horses that are longer prices that are just as good.
The 10 is starting over. First time we've seen starting over this year. He's 20 to 1. He's had a 9-month layoff. He does have a grade 2 win. He's also changing trainers. He's an 8-year-old. His last 3 races before the break, he had an 8, a 10, and then a 12. There's some warning signs here for sure. I like again, just like you said, I think there are other long shots to like, but what about you?
I don't like this horse. I mean, believe me, it's Brittany Russell from Mike Maker. So I make that a neutral change. I mean, Mike Maker does a terrific job, as does Brittany Russell. And, again, I like other horses that are just as long, I think have better chances.
Okay. The 11 is I'd Rather Be Blessed, the 20 to 1 shot, who actually is coming off back-to-back 10s, the only time that he's done this in his career, which is actually the best 2 numbers he's ever had in his career. And by the way, they're 2 identical numbers, John.
They are, but he's 5 years old. You want those pairs on younger horses. As older horses, sometimes they act as efforts, and horses will react off of them. But he's got time between both of them. He's okay. It's another one that's okay.
Next up is the 12, Bolitnikov, an 8 to 1 shot. You've got D'Amato, Giroux, nice combo. This is going to be one of those closers, so you always got to watch out for the closers on these long races. He is 1 for 1 at Keeneland. He's also coming off an 8 his last time, 9 before that, and very consistent. He's got a lot of numbers between 8 and 11. Matter of fact, 8 of his last 10 races have been between 8 and 11, which is not bad. But he is, and again, the outside positions don't matter at all in these long races, do they?
Well, you always want to be towards the inside, but no, it doesn't matter much because it's a long race and they got plenty of time to save some ground if they have interest. Well, another interesting thing about this horse is he is 1 for 1 at Keeneland, like you mentioned, but he also has a start at this distance where he finished second 2 starts back in the Hollywood Turf Cup. It's a grade 2 in California. At 8 to 1, I'm using him.
Yep. And ran a 9 in that race as well.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. And by the way, just in case one of these 12 horses knock out, Native Shaman is the 13 who will only come in if he's also eligible. He's 30 to 1. He ran a 14 last time on a synthetic, a 12 and a 10 to end last year on turf. He's got 2 wins in his last 3, 1 for 1 at Keeneland. Is this a horse, if he makes it inside this field as a long shot, is he worth looking at?
No.
Okay. Let's go ahead with your picks, John. You've got the 2 over.
I'm going to use the 1, Rebel Red. I'm going to use the 4, Verstappen, the 5, Utah Beach, and the 12, Bolitnikov. 2 with 1, 4, 5, 12.
Okay. I am going to use the 2 with the 5, 9, and 12. All right. You have the 2 with the 1, 4, 5, and 12?
And you have the 2 with the 5, 9, 12.
There
Correct.
You go. That is race number 9, the Elkhorn Stakes. And now let's go with the Ben Ali Stakes. So you take a look at these entries here. It's a
10th race. It's a 10th race at Keeneland on Saturday for people that don't have a program or a form yet or whatever.
And this will go off about 5:45-ish on Saturday. Okay, so let's get to it. And the morning line favorite is the 6, and that's Duke of Love, a 5 to 2 shot with a grade 3 win. There's only 7 in this field, as we could see. We don't normally do races where there's 7 in a field. But again, like we said, slim pickings over the next couple of weeks, and it is a graded stakes race. Again, it's a grade 3 race, 4-year-olds and up. This is one that's going to be kind of hard to. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of hard to beat the couple of the favorites here, but let's see if we can find any. One is.
By the way, I totally disagree with you, but go ahead.
Great.
I like the price.
I love that.
Go ahead.
I don't want to pick chalk. The one is San Siro, who will be off Lasix for the first time. He's coming off of 14, a grade 2 race last time out, and he does have 2 10s in his last 4 races.
Yeah, but the 14 last time out should have been better. He had plenty of time from the 10-2 starts back. You know, I mean, obviously he can make a forward move, but I don't like him in this spot, not at 9-2.
The 2 is Prince of Power, a 15-1 shot, never won or even placed at Keeneland. Does have a win, 1-for-1 at 1 mile and 3/16. We don't want to go down that road again with that the distance. But he's coming off a 15 at Keeneland in a grade 3 race.
Yeah, again, he has a race over the track, so that's always good news. The problem is it wasn't a good number. He did have some trouble in that race, but I like other horses. He's just not fast on the dirt. He's fast on synthetic with the 10 and 12, 2 and 3 starts back.
This was the only horse outside the top 2 that I was intrigued about, Tennessee Lamb. 2 for 2 with a win at this distance, 1 for 2 with a place at Keeneland. 8-1. You're getting Ortiz for the first time. That's always nice. He's been on Lasix the last 7 races. But if you take a look at his last 3 dirt races, they're 10, 11, and 11. So
and one of those 11s were at Keeneland, by the way.
Yep. So because of that, that's why it was an 8-1 with Ortiz. I was intrigued.
This is my top selection, and you were saying that the favorites had a win. Well, this horse is 8-1. This is not a favorite. This is the horse that I will definitely be betting.
Excellent. Well, now I feel even better about maybe that idea originally.
Look at his sheet on the dirt. He's never gone backwards, Greg.
No.
He's 13, 11, 11, and 10. The 2 other races before that last year were both on the grass. So draw a line through both of those races. He's not a grass horse. They finally figured it out. And again, he has the 11 at Keeneland, which was a top when he ran at Keeneland last time for the first time. The 11 was the best race he ever ran. And then he worked his way down to a 10 last time out. He's got time from that race. He could run the 10 or better. He's getting Jose Ortiz, and at 8-1, make there be no mistake. This is the right key in the race.
Yeah, I mean, because his numbers are either similar or just there from the 2 favorites, and you're getting double the price.
And you're getting Jose Ortiz and everything else. That's why I have a feeling he'll probably be less than the 8-1. And a lot of horses we've been giving out on this show have been getting hammered at the
I know.
For some reason. So we have some followers.
It was killing me last week. It was like I was going through. I was checking the odds for the first time with like 15 minutes to go, and all the horses that we picked, and each one of them, the odds were just going like half.
Yeah,
I was like, "What the hell's going on here? This isn't what we talked about." All right. That's the only thing, of course, why
people have to make adjustments on the fly. Listen, if Tennessee Lamb is 5-2 or 3-1, well, he's not that much better than other horses. Yeah. If he's even better than other horses, you could always pass and wait for the next week.
And if you ever have any questions for us, because we're going to be there ready to watch the races, 15 minutes, 10 minutes to go, send us a question on the video page here. And maybe we'll be able to get back to you in time. You might say, hey, what do I do now? Right. So we can get back to you in time. We'll let you know. All right. Time for Troubles, the 4-horse. A 4-1 shot. I don't know why this horse is 4-1. Ran a 16 last time out. A 12 before that. He does have a couple of 10s, but that was very early last year.
Well, he is 11 for 36 lifetime. He made 670,000. But with all that said, he's been properly placed because he's been winning with slow numbers, and his slow numbers is not going to get it done Saturday. I don't want this horse at 4-1. No part of him.
Yeah, and in his last, I think 7 races, no wins. And as a matter of fact, he ran in this race last year and finished fourth
with Flavian Pratt riding. Correct.
And that was with a 13.
Correct.
The 5, Pyroli. 6-1.
Paroli, yes.
Paroli, yes. I like that better. This is a McCarthy horse who's 1-for-1 at Keeneland. Hasn't won at this distance before. His last 4 races were without Lasix, so keep that in mind. I mean, we're with Lasix.
His last 4 races were with Lasix.
With Lasix. By the way, the thing I did notice here is in the 4 races over the last 10 that he did not have Lasix, he finished 9th, 4th, 8th, and 7th. And his numbers, let's see what his numbers were. His numbers were 20, 10, 22, and 13. So that's not very good. He did run an 8 at Keeneland in October. That was the win. As the only win he's had like in the last races. And in that race he ran the 8. So that's the only thing that he has that really looks any good here.
Yeah, I'm going to use this horse only because of the 8 that he ran at Keeneland. And I have excuses. The last race was on synthetic, so I could draw a line through it. 2 starts back, he did run the 9, so I guess he reacted last time out. 3 starts back, he ran the 12, which was off the 8. So he's not the worst. He has a shot to pop at 10, and I think he'll be somewhat of a price. So
I hope, if we can get 8-1 or 10-1, and that's different. Yeah. 6-1 or anything less, I'm not really that interested in him. But hey, it's a 7-horse field. Duke of Love. Now here's one of the 2 favorites here. 5-2 shot. He's got a grade 3 win, and he has an 11 last time out. That was his race at Gulfstream Park. It was the first race that he had since September of 23. So this will be his 2nd race in 20 months. But the good news is after ending that run in late 2023 with 2 8s. He takes all that time off and he runs an 11, which is not that bad. So this is his 2nd start from that, which you would think he should be doing better. But still, it's still kind of a mystery. He's a 5-2 shot.
Yeah, I mean, do I want this horse as the favorite? Yeah, if you're going to guarantee me he's running one of those 2 8s that he ran 2 years ago, I would play him. But at 5-2, obviously he broke a bone or something. You don't take off for over a year or a year and a half, whatever it is, without there being some sort of major problem. And listen, the 11 first start back and all that time is a good number. It was on Lasix. It was sprinting. He now stretches out, but he's just too short. If the 3's 8-1, obviously I could use 3-6 exacta. But, I don't know. I mean, he's like other horses. Look at the next horse, for example, Uno Mas Bourbon. Wouldn't you much rather bet that horse? I think so.
Uno Mas Bourbon, what I like about this horse, in 5 career fast dirt races as a winner, after he broke his maiden, he has numbers between 9 and 12. He's got 10, he's got 11. So he's got nice numbers in this particular field ever since he's been a winner and a different horse. Because again, most of these horses, well, several of them are 4-year-olds. Some are a little bit older, but he's one of those 4-year-olds. So yeah, I do like the 7 as far as the rest of the field myself. But
that's it. So here are the selections. I'm using the 3 Tennessee Lamb in exactas with the 5, the 6, and the 7. 3 over 5, 6, 7. Obviously, a win bet on the 3 if you get anywhere near the 8-1, which I probably don't think you'll get. But I like the 3 with the 5, 6, 7.
Okay, and I'm going to go with the 7 over 3-5. So again, I'm going 7 over 3-5. Uno Mas Bourbon, by the way, I don't think I mentioned this. He ran a 12 in February, and last year in November, he ran a 9. So those were his last 2 races, which is not bad in this field. So there you go again. In race 9, in case you missed it, we're both going with the 2. John's going 1-4-5-12. I'm going 5-9-12. Again, that's all with the 2 in the Elkhorn. Next week, there is only 1 graded stakes race on any card, and I believe that is going to be at Santa Anita. And it's only a grade 3, and knowing Santa Anita, there'll be like 4 horses in the field.
And so, 3 of them Baffords. Yeah.
Yes, that's a Royal Heroine. So I don't know what it's going to be. One of those weeks where we're probably just going to grab who knows. But again, we'll have Jim Feist on the program, so I think it'll be a lot of fun. No bonus races this week. So John, appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and knock off with you.
Hit subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Greg. Great job as usual.